Hey there, and welcome to A Well-Rounded Life, the podcast, a space for creative entrepreneurs seeking an intentional life and biz filled with grace, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Jamira. I'm a mama, wife, dessert fanatic, and on the ultimate mission to get you closer to your idea of what it means to live a well-rounded life. Right here is where you'll find curated resources, quick tips, and relatable stories, no matter what season of life you're in. So hang out with me for a bit and let's dive in. Hi, friend, and welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time hanging out with me. Today's episode of A Well-Rounded Life will be a game changer for some of you out there listening. It is not by accident that you have tuned in. Nope, no, it is not. Thus, I want you to cozy up, turn up your volume, and open your ears and your heart. I'm excited for you to listen in on a conversation that I know is going to bless you in so many ways, because the conversation that I had definitely blessed me within the time that we shared with today's guest. So today I'm chatting with one of my dearest friends who inspires me each day to live purposely and faithfully. I wanted to have my sister friend Nicole Mayfield of May Creates on the podcast for a candid convo so that she may share her story of how she took a leap of faith in order to walk in her purpose and live out her passion. And I know many of you out there will be able to relate to Nicole and her story. And you guys know as well-rounders that it is our mission here to grant ourselves grace, live out our passion while walking in our purpose. But before I welcome Nicole to the mic, let's get to know her a little bit better via her bio. Nicole Mayfield is a believer, wife, mom, creator, motivational speaker, and now published author, sharing her love of God through her creativity and writing. She believes anyone, young or old, can learn about the love of God and have fun doing so. She has stepped out on faith to develop May Creates and bring to life the vision given to her by God and inspired by her two beautiful daughters. Nicole is married to her hunk of a husband, Ray. That's her words, not mine. And they are affectionately known as Rayco. They share two beautiful girls, Sophia and Isabella. Nicole's first children's book, Yay! It's Time for Church, is out now and the perfect gift for the little ones in your family. Let's welcome my friend and author, Nicole Mayfield, to A Well-Rounded Life. Hello, my love. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. It's good to see you and to hear from you because, hashtag COVID.
Right. Can't do it.
It's crazy. All right, guys. So full disclaimer, Nicole is legit one of my very best friends. And we also happen to be neighbors. Like we could walk to each other's houses. So she's down the street.
Yep.
And so today's chat is a conversation amongst friends, and we welcome you into our friendship circle. So sit back and hang with us. And so, Nicole, please introduce yourself to our well-rounders.
Okay. Hello, well-rounders. Sorry. I am Nicole Mayfield. Some people know me as Coco. First and simple, I love God. He is why I do everything I do. And I am married to the love of my life, my hunk of a husband, Ray. And we're actually coming up on our 7th year of marriage. Fun fact, Jamira actually planned our wedding and was our wedding coordinator, and she was amazing. Sorry for all those who missed out.
That's funny. It's interesting because I was like, dang, how many years?
Yeah.
Number one, have I known you? How long you've been married? And so real quick backstory. My husband actually knew Nicole before I did because he sold her a house, our sister. And he came home and he says, I met this girl today and I think you would really be good friends with her. Her sister reminded me of you and your sister. And then she got engaged and then she looked me up for wedding planning. We had a meeting and we've been like thick as thieves ever since. So
You know why we had the meeting? Because I had already made up my mind.
I know, it's funny.
I'm like, you can do your whole spiel, whatever you want.
I sure did. I prepared for that meeting. And you was like, well, you're already hired. And I was like, well, here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. So you mentioned your husband, Ray, but you also have two little ones.
I sure do. Sophia, who is 3, but going to be 4 soon, and Isabella, who just turned 1.
You're super, super busy over there.
I'm home mom with those two. Yes. We actually were, that's one of the things that has definitely kept me busy is being a stay-at-home mom. And now it was first Sophia. Now we, have Isabella now. And while it's super busy, it's been pretty good. I can't say it's like, I know some people are like, oh, this has been the worst nightmare, but I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about my kids. We're growing together. So that's a good thing.
You're the most patient person that I know because I couldn't do what you do.
I say to each his own, to each his own.
And if you follow Nicole on Instagram, we'll drop all her stuff in the show notes. It's always a fun time, always positive energy, positive light. And that's why she's my go-to person just to be uplifted. So follow her on Instagram. She is Co-May Creates.
Co-May Create.
You mentioned mom, wife, but before you became a mom of two and a wife and now author, all the things, you worked in corporate America.
Yeah.
Take us on a journey and describe your life and what it looks like a few short years ago.
Okay, yeah. So I was in corporate for almost close to 11 years. I came straight out of college, got the job, and I was working with Cisco, and great company, wonderful. So I was a segment ops manager before I resigned. And I had an amazing boss, awesome team, but it was extremely demanding. You never saw me without my laptop. I had my laptop, I had my cell phone. I was always refreshing, always checking, trying to figure out what's going on. What I did was I assessed and I managed like $1,000, $1,000,000 deals that had to come down the pipeline and be ready to go. And so, when you're working with high amounts of money, you got to make sure everything's right. And there's people depending on, making sure these deals go through. So it worked holidays, weekends, there was quarter end, there was month end, there was year end. And I mean, our year end it was in July. It wasn't in December like everybody else. Our year end was always in July. And my husband's birthday is in July. So I always got anxiety because I'm like, how am I going to make sure he feels special, he feels loved and supported, and also, making sure I'm doing my job to the best of my ability, because like when it's year end, don't think about asking off or, taking off for a long period. That's just not going to happen. Or, you may not have a job. So it was very stressful, to say the least. But like I said, it came with its perks. It was like I said, awesome team, awesome boss and everything, but just very demanding, very demanding.
But I can attest, Nicole always had that phone and that laptop and was like, clicking away.
He called it my second boyfriend. He hated it. He's like, put that laptop down.
You were very much dedicated, and that's a lot to handle for anybody. So I just wanted to know what gave you the courage to turn in that resignation letter and take on the role, one of the hardest jobs, of being a full-time wife and mom.
Yeah, it was definitely a leap of faith. When I first got pregnant with my first baby girl, I was already starting to feel like the burnout of being in such a demanding position, even with all the perks and everything. I was already starting to feel the burnout, and my passion for the job was dwindling. So, and I just honestly, I just chalked it up to being pregnant. It's your body's taking on you're forming a human life. And I thought it's like, okay, well, I'm just more tired. I just need to, once I have the baby, I'll be good. I'll be ready to go back in what I was doing. And I had my daughter. I went back after about 3 months. And as soon as I'm ready to get in it, as soon as I got in it, I'm like, yeah, no, this ain't it. And God was already saying, your season is up here. And I'm like, not so fast, God, because, I still get a good paycheck. We were under my company's insurance. Cisco has amazing insurance, and not that, Ray had great insurance as well, but mine was it was a little bit better. So I'm like, we're under that. We just had a baby. I don't think this is the right move. So I continued, in that position, and it was just still the same thing. Like I just feeling burnout. I wasn't able to really do my daily tasks like I had been doing. I knew I wasn't giving all that I could because my focus and the dedication just wasn't there like it had been. So I said, okay, I'm going to start possibly looking, for other jobs. Maybe I just need to, go to another company and start something fresh. And God was like, nope, still not. And I'm just like, well, Lord, what do you want me to do? And I know God was shaking his head, like, if you just sit down and listen for a second and what I'm trying to tell you, you'll get the answer that you need. And so it wasn't just one thing that made me say, okay, that's it. I think it was a accumulation of things that was finally like, you know what, the time is up. You need to go. This is it. Like, it's time to leave. Stop playing around. It's time to leave. I prayed for clear vision of what God wanted me to do, because I just didn't want to, this not only affected me, but, my family. I just didn't want to just go and do, what I thought he wanted me to do and not hear clearly. And this in some way hurt my family. So I think the thing that pushed me was he told me what he wanted, and then him confirming and other people telling me that exact same thing when they had no idea what I was going through. But they spoke a word into me, and I'm just like, where did you get that from? And I know I only, my parents and my husband knew what I was going through, what I was thinking of. And so I think that's what gave me the encouragement to go ahead and make that leap, because there was some, people spoke. He used people to confirm the word he had already told me.
It's interesting because I remember that time in your life and you were killing it, but then you got other responsibilities, which is one of the hardest jobs, becoming a parent. And you take that job so seriously, and being a wife, you always make sure your family is taken care of. But something else that you said, and I get asked this question a lot, and you said, like you wanted to hear from him and a clear vision, and you wanted to hear clearly and all the things. And so I'm curious, from your perspective, what are your thoughts on how do you know when you're being called to do something, and how do you know that you're being in alignment with your purpose? And so when people say, like, I heard God speak, or I heard him say X, Y, and Z, how does that show up in your life? What is that feeling? Because there may be someone listening that may be feeling something similar, but what does that look like?
I honestly don't think you will, truly start feeling fulfilled until you're walking in your purpose or calling. God has called all of us to do something. There's something unique that he has placed in each one of us. And I honestly believe that you first must be in relationship with him to get a better understanding of what he wants to do with your gifts and the talents that he's blessed you with. For a long time, I didn't have an idea of what, my purpose or calling was. I saw people that had that thing, like, Jamira, there's so many things that she's good at, but, she kills it. She was doing the coordinating with weddings and stuff. And I mean, just everything that she would do, everything laid out so perfectly. I'm like, this is just her thing. She knows how to do this well. She knows how to plan, coordinate, and do all these things well. I've seen other people in our life, they have these things that they're really, really good at. And I was like, what is my thing? I mean, I can play the tambourine, but...
Wait, can I just pause right there? I just paused right there. I should have put that at the beginning of your intro.
Right.
Your life will not be blessed until you witness Nicole playing the tambourine on a Sunday morning in church. Man, do I miss those days.
Yeah.
She goes all the way in. I didn't even know the tambourine could do the things. At her wedding, she got a tambourine.
At the wedding, you're right.
Legit. I'm just going to ask her husband, Ray, to just do us some throwbacks on the Instagram of her playing that tambourine. But yeah, girl, that's your thing. But I'm sorry, back to the question, how do you know? But I had to just jump in there, tambourine girl.
But yeah, so I can play the tambourine, and people was like, oh, you play so good. I'm like, but I mean, how's that going to help anybody? So, and then I'm like, okay, and you make people laugh, and I'm like, okay, all right, but I don't have that thing. And I was just like, God, I need help, because I don't know what is it that you want me to do? I know right now what I'm doing is not the purpose that you would have for me, the calling. So what is it? I just had to seek God for clarity. honestly. And it's something that you have to do. You have to really seek him. Go with a sincere heart to seek him, what he wants for your life, the will that he has for your life. I was so worried that I wasn't in the will of God, that I was just like, God, I'm coming to you with everything that I have. Like, I'm laying it, I'm submitting to you, even though it doesn't look right on paper, it doesn't sound right. I'm coming to you because I want to be in your will, the will that you have for me. I've done it my way. I want to do it yours. So I would say definitely praying, seeking him, like, really seeking him, not just like, God, can you help me? Like, really talk to him. Talk to him like you would a friend. And that's what he is, a friend. Reading, and he will answer you. And it can be in the form of when you're reading, when you're learning more about him in the Bible, when you're doing a daily devotion, and when you seek wise counsel. If you have a pastor or you have a friend that you know that you can go to and talk about these type of things, seeking wise counsel and hearing from them, God could drop something in your spirit. Some people say they've, heard an audible voice. When I hear God, like, I'm just sitting and I sit there and I'm just focusing on him. I'm quiet. I'm in a quiet place and I'm just focusing on him. And all of a sudden, it's like out of nowhere, all these things, it's just coming down and coming in my spirit. And I'm just like, okay, God, I hear it. It's like almost like a download of him giving me what I need to hear, because I'm taking that time to seek him, to listen. And you can talk to him when you're seeking him, but make sure you take that time to actually sit still and listen. You can say all the things, but you don't want to miss what he's trying to say. And God uses so many different ways. And again, reading your Bible, praying, him talking to you as you're praying, hearing the Sunday word. And that's why hearing the word and being under leadership, being in a church family is always good, because it helps you to hear, like, well, God, is this what I hear clearly? Like what he did for me. He confirmed it in the mouths of 2 or 3 people. And I was just like, okay, God, all right. So I am hearing correctly. So.
No, that's such a great advice, because I've experienced that firsthand. Like when I was trying to figure out, should I leave my 9 to 5 and do my creative businesses full time? Like, how the heck am I going to leave, this high paying job? And when you feel very, very comfortable, you have a great life, you got a check every 2 weeks, you live in the dream, and it's the hamster wheel that everybody else is doing. So how dare I
try to do something different?
Try to be an entrepreneur, try to be a creative.
Who are you?
Yeah, who am I to think that it's possible? But the real question is, why can't you and why not you? And it's one of those things where I'm like, I see everybody else doing it and succeeding at it. And I know you saw everybody else doing the things that you're doing now, which we'll get into. But it's like, you have to realize that if other people, and I said this in a Clubhouse chat the other day, when you see other people doing it, it should not intimidate you to make you think that, oh, there's no space for me or I can't do it. It should just get you excited that it's possible. And so I always say, yes, you can do what other people are doing, but how are you going to put your own spin, own flavor on it? And maybe that's what he wants you to do. And so you're absolutely right. Like, I will do my daily devotional and there'll be something on my heart. And I'll tell you, I'll open that thing up.
And it's right there, right?
You're like, what the heck? Like, you have no idea that that's what the daily devotional, it's already been written. It's already.
Yes, that's the thing. You already laid it out for us.
It's like a magician, just boop, the popped the word.
Right
there. And I'll be like, goodness gracious. And then, but you also, made another good point. It's a two-way conversation. It may be a little weird in your head to think, I'm talking to air, talking to a wall, talking to whatever. But you do what you got to do. If it's something that feels so heavy on your heart, you got to release it and speak it and pray it, share it to make sure that, you're moving correctly. And personally, after I lost my mom, who was my confidant and the person that I spoke to about everything, I didn't make a move until I ran it past her. It forced me to lean on my husband more and on God, because those two for me were very much my foundation. And it was like, okay, she's gone and other things are removed and I don't have a choice but to lean on, like you say, a friend. And that's what, definitely God is. He is a friend, unwavering, unchanging. And so that was my experience with kind of drawing closer to him when some people pull further away because they feel hurt and disappointment and they're scared. But that's when you actually got to step up. I'm scared and I have a lot of fear right now. Let me lean on God and my family and my support system in circle. So just a note for anybody out there that's just feeling, like I said, a little bit heavy, you just start speaking, start talking, start asking, and authentically.
Yes, he will speak back to you.
Don't be like, God, please, I'm praying. No, like straight up, be very vulnerable.
Yeah, talk to him. He already knows. You think you had it. God already knows. He sees and knows all. So it's just like, go ahead and talk to him. You don't have to use thou is getting into heaven and glory forever and ever. Talk to him. Talk to him like you would a friend. Like you said, be vulnerable. Like really talk to him. He already knows. He just wants you to come to him. He's just waiting for you. He's waiting for you. And you just have to lean to his understanding and not your own.
Absolutely.
And we cannot forget who he is and, who we are to him. We were created to serve him, and he is already here waiting to help us through. Just allow him to be who he is. Allow him to be God.
Amen, Sister Mayfield. I have to say that because Nicole's father is a pastor.
Yes, so I'm a PK, guys. Lord have mercy.
Yep.
But I'm a sanctified one.
Yeah, but yet she's also still the life of the party. So she's a mix of the two. Oh, man. But again, she's just a joy. And so, Nicole, you leave your 9-to-5 to become a full-time wife and mom. And so when did you know that it was time to actually put the wheels in motion to create Co-May Creates?
Yes. Quick thing too is I never thought in a million years that I would be the one leaving to be a stay-at-home mom and, leave my job for that. Never in a million years. So that's one thing. And then, like you just said, I'm working. I'm at home with kids. Well, kid at the time, and then making sure Ray's good and all that good stuff. And God had, given me the vision for the children, for the Christian children books. And I was like, okay. And I believe that was the end of 2018 or middle of 2018. And I was like, okay, God, we're going to do it. And I wrote it. He gave me the words and everything. And I was just like, this is crazy. Like, how is this coming so easily? But it wasn't me. And it wasn't me at all. It was all him. I asked him and it was all him. So once after he revealed that, okay, I want you to do this, the Christian children's books, I thought that's all he wanted me to do. And I'm like, okay, we can do that. Then as I was seeking him more and more, he started revealing more and showing me that, okay, I want you to do more. I want this to be not just the books. I want this to be a business. And I'm like, okay, God, like, hold up. Like again, we move a little bit too fast. Like, right. Like, So, but that's what he was showing me. And I was just like, okay, like I said, God, I wanted to be in his will, what his will was for me. I didn't want to be outside of that. So I went and I talked to Ray about it, my husband about it. And it was like him and God were in cahoots. And Ray was just like, finally, you finally starting to see the big picture. And I was like, wait a minute, what you know? Like, what has he said to you?
You know my business.
Right. What are you talking about? Then I was just like, okay, God, I hear you. And I had to realize that me delaying any further of starting the actual business of Co-May Creates would not only hinder what he has for me, but it could hinder those around me and my family. That's what made me go ahead and say, okay, God, like, okay, again, I don't understand it. This is not something I ever thought I would be doing, but I don't want to be outside of your will. I don't want to hinder blessings from my family, stop or delay any blessings from my family. So I'm doing this. We're going full steam ahead. And I started getting everything, like, I think it was like early 2020 when everything, and then, pandemic happened. I was like, oh my gosh. But it was early 2020 when everything started. And I was just like, and once the pandemic did happen, and I was just like, I see, go when God says go, because look what happened. Nobody could have saw this.
No, I love that. And you bring up a great point that I tell my clients all the time, that when you don't do what you're called to do, or you don't showcase your talents or creativity, it's not about you.
Mm-mm.
There's somebody that needs your gift. There's somebody that needs what you're selling, what you've come up with, the thing that he's placed on your heart. Is not about you. You are doing a disservice if you are not just definitely taking it to the next level with the gifts that you've been given. And to your point, like, especially with the type of product that you have, spreading the word, Christian children's books, like, all of our children benefit from the literacy and the things that you're putting out. It's very much, especially, let me just say, make a point with the fact that we all cannot worship physically.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that has been tough.
Yeah. So it's another fun activity and thing for them to use as a resource and a tool with everyone homeschooling. So if there is anyone out there that is trying to, you have this idea to launch a book like Nicole's collection or whatnot, that this is a great time to actually have resources available to people, because things have changed and we don't know when they'll go back to being quote unquote normal, but people are looking for fresh content. They're looking for something new. How many new shows have we binged on Netflix at this point? Like, can we get some new content? So now is your time to put out your content, because people need what you have.
And when he gives it to you, just like you say, if you get into something like, well, people are already in it. God has given it to you for a reason. There might be a certain group of people that you can reach to that other person can't. Just stay in your lane. Do what he's told you to do, because the thing is, he's already making room for you and your gift, what he has for you. You just need to walk in it. Plain and simple.
Sister Mayfield. I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you the whole show.
And that was the other thing. I was just like, so when I was reading with Sophia, she loves to read and we read together. And, it was, God specifically said Christian, Black Christian children books. And I said, okay, all right. I mean, I've been raised in church since I came out the womb. So it's like, all right, God, that's definitely something I know about. Give me the words to say for it, so it can appeal to the audience that you want it to appeal to, that you have this for. And he gave me what he wanted to say, plain and simple, because this is not something I could have done on my own, nor would I have done on my own.
Yeah. And you make another great point that sometimes when you sit down to actually put the wheels in motion, things will come to you. You have a mini vision, but then the juices start flowing, the ideas start coming,
Yes,
giving you the tools and the resources. And, I know we reference God and all the things, and there are people who worship other denominations and all the things. Whoever, however, whatever you're supposed to be doing, and you're supposed to be doing it, show up and do it. That's the message, once it's all said and done. But something else, I was thinking about is that people sometimes think that it's a snap of the fingers to get published or launched. And, we're talking about it like, just show up or whatever. But we do know it's hard. Like, we're not going to.
You got to do the work.
Yeah, it's hard. So I'm curious to know, how long would you say it took you to actually take the first big step after it was just made very clear what you should be doing?
So I think, once I started, I got the book written, and I was like, okay, what's next? And then I started looking at, okay, so we need illustration. We need, what is the book cover going to look like? We need publication. We need editing. We need all those things. And I'm just like, honestly, it started overwhelming me. And I'm like, I don't know what the first thing about this stuff. And it costs money.
It does what?
Money.
Money.
You have money? Okay. All right. So I was like, God, like, I've already, we're on, one income. I'm at, stay at home mom. I'm no longer getting that paycheck. So God, where's this money coming from? So I started getting overwhelmed, and I put it down. It was like, I just said, okay, I don't know. I'm just walk away. So, and I stopped, and I was just like, and God convicted me, of course, because he was just like, I've given you the vision, and just like like I have done in the past, I will provide and I will make a way. And so I finally said, you're right, God, please forgive me. You have shown me time and time again that you most certainly have my back and you will make a way. when it doesn't look like there's a way to be made. So I said, okay, we're going to go full throttle. And I think it was the end of, I think, what was it, summer of 2019, I started. And then I was pregnant. So I kind of put it on the back burner a little bit, just because it was a lot being pregnant and then still trying to be a stay-at-home mom and raise my 2-year-old. So I finally went ahead going up into 2020. I was just like, okay, we're going to get this moving. And I started. So I think I want to say a full year for me to like go ahead and finally take the jump to go ahead and like, okay, I'm going to go in these steps. Here's all my steps that I need to do. And this is what I'm going to take. This is what's going to take to get it done. And I remember a friend at church telling me how she knew 2 sisters that did, that could public, does editing and stuff like that. Actually, she just said editing. And I said, okay, all right, let me reach out to them. And I did. And when I tell you God came through, because they ended up doing, being able to do everything for me, editing, publication, typesetting, illustration, everything. And I was like, okay, God, you did it. You did it.
You got the full package.
Right. I did. And I started crying because it's like, I doubted him, and look how he came through for me. Like he always does. So after I finally, I would say it took about a year for me to finally take that big step, because, I was scared. But once I finally, did it and, wrote it down and made, an idea and a plan of what we needed to do to get it done. That's a huge thing. Write it down.
Write it down. It speaks to the whole systems and workflows. Write it down. Everything you think you will need, write down. Someone gave me the advice of write down everything that you feel like will be an obstacle or an objection, and then start making a list of ways to overcome them.
Yep.
So if you feel like, okay, man, like you just said, money, well, how can we raise money and capital? It's like Illustrator. Where can I go find someone? What website do I need to go to? Whose work have I seen? Like, write the solution and write the problem. So I love that.
You have the people around you too. Don't forget who you have surrounding you and the people around you who are already doing these things. And again, and this goes back to why you may feel like, well, I don't think I'm supposed to be doing this, or everybody's already doing it. I had people in my circle, one being Jamira. I'm seeing everything she's doing. There were things I was able to reach out to her about, like, what do you think about this? Or how would you go about this? What did you use for this? Just to get, she already doing it and she's doing it well. Like, why not? Why try to recreate the wheel when I can, maybe talk to her and get it so I can figure out, like, is this a good option for me?
That's what I've been doing actually lately myself. Like you say, oh, look at Jamira doing whatever. Man, I'm literally been in people's DMs. I've been sending emails, because my mom used to say, all they can tell you is no. Shoot your shot, ask for help. If they don't want to help you, then they will see you, in the shadows at some point. They'll be back there. You'll figure it out, but just open your mouth, ask for what you need, see who's doing it, and go after them so that you can save yourself some time.
Absolutely. And headache. Yeah. Because people don't know. You can't, people, we aren't mind readers. Okay. People can't help if you don't tell them what you need help with. They can try to assume and guess, or they might not even try to do that, but they can't. You give them a chance to try to help you, to see what you can get done, what they can help you with. I have my family who, literally, my husband and my sister have a business where this is what they do: help people get their stuff started.
Yes, and a very good one. And they're amazing at what they do. Actually, give them a shout out, Nicole.
Strategic Sites Consulting. Listen, this is what they do. And they are amazing at it. They've already been doing it. And me being my crazy self, I was like, oh no, well, they can help everybody else, but not me. And I listen to myself now, like, girl, you was crazy. You
go to bed with the owner of the company.
Right? Like, that's for they. Like, and I'm like, and I was like, no, they can help other people. Like, they can't help me. What? And I said, you know what? I know my sister came to me and Ray had already been saying, tell me what you need help with. What do you try? Tell me how you want to do it. What are you trying to do? What's your train of thought like? And my sister too, let us help. When I finally went to them and was like, guys, this is it. It felt like a burden lifted off my shoulders. So ask for help.
Ask for help. There it is. I say that all the time. Like, we have certain ministries and gifts, but as creatives, sometimes we forget that we're not an accountant, an illustrator, an editor, a copywriter, a social media manager, X, Y, and Z. So use your resources, outsource as much as you can so that you can get the job done. And so you kind of answered one of the questions that I had, about the importance of having a supporting cast, and you had that, and we just emphasized the point of positioning yourself around the right people that will help you get it done.
It's major. You have to be around the right people because not everybody, you see this, and you see the quotes and everything on Instagram, but not everybody's going to understand your vision. Not everybody's going to understand what you're trying to do. So get those people around you that know your heart, that are praying for you, that you share the vision with, and that can keep you accountable. I don't know, like all of my family, like made sure I was good and were praying for me, encouraging words. And my sister, Lord have mercy, drove me nuts because she was like on top of me, making sure I stayed. We had made that plan. We had made that path. And even though it drove me crazy, I appreciate it. I appreciate it then and I appreciate it now because it helped to keep me on track and keep me going to making sure I was hitting my goals, the small and big ones, and going through my vision as God had told me to do. So you got to have those right people around you and know who you can go to. Again, you want to know who you can go to, have them praying. You want to be able to seek wise counsel when you need it and be able to ask for help. And all those days where it gets particularly rough, because just because God told you to do it doesn't mean you're going to walk through this easily. It's not going to be easy at all.
If you're in the creative space, own a small business, or even want to stay in the know, you are aware of the importance of email marketing. I can admit that I hated the idea of sending emails and having to pop into inboxes of clients in my community. But those days are over thanks to Flowdesk. Flowdesk has been a game changer in my business and now a resource I cannot live without. I send beautiful emails, announcements, I create landing pages, and more over on Flowdesk. It's time to get your message out there. So use the link I created just for you at bit.ly/CFC Flowdesk and play around with Flowdesk totally free for your first month. More details are in the show notes, and I cannot wait to get an email from you. Just as important of putting yourself around the right people, you have to remove yourself from the negative people, the liabilities, the people who just straight up haters, let's just call a spade a spade, and people that don't want to see you win. So take inventory. We did a whole podcast episode on this. I have to go look at the number, but we legit have done episodes around having your tribe and your people in alignment, being around the right people and moving away from the toxicity. So important.
It matters.
And we just talked about it's not going to be easy. So full transparency, what would you say was the most challenging or the scariest thing about launching the project and everything else that you have coming up?
Honestly, worrying about what people would say, because,
That's big.
It is.
Yeah.
It really was worrying about what people would say, because Lord knows this is not what I went to school for. I'm not the best speaker. I'm certainly not the best writer. And people know me. I'm just, hey, what's up? Let's laugh. Let's have fun. So, and people don't always take me serious all the time. So, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing this and making sure God got the glory and gets the glory out of this. I didn't want to mess up. I was worried about that because I'm like, God, this is something you've called to do. You've placed in me to do. I want to make sure I get this right. So making sure that I do it to the fullest potential, because this is something that God placed in me, and then worrying about what people would say, honestly, because they're, why are you coming out with a book? What do you know?
Who do you think you are to do X, Y, and Z? It's like block them out, block out the noise, and keep moving and show them. My mom used to say, you can show them better than you can tell them. So just do your thing.
Not being quiet about it, but, just.
Yeah, undercover. Yeah. I love it. When people work, yes, when people work behind the scenes and you like, dang, how did they have time to do that? Because they was focused on their stuff, not worried about anybody else's stuff. And that's what we have to do sometimes. Like, you can't be worried about what everybody else is doing when your stuff isn't intact. So that is so important.
I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, listen, I can't. If it's not something positive, is not anything. If it's something that's just going to be a hindrance to me, like I don't have time. I'm not going to worry about. I cannot worry about what you're doing. I just can't. I just cannot. And I worried about even going back, leaving my job, what people would think. And what people would think, like, so, okay, so you're going to put all this pressure on your hubs, like, it's just the one income with him. And so now you're just going to go home and chill and be lazy. I did. I thought about all that. You're going to be lazy. Like, and I was used to making my own money, having my own.
But the funny thing is though, Nicole, you work harder now.
Girl.
So, it's like, y'all thought this was a walk in the park. Any stay-at-home mom, work-from-home mom, dad, cousin, supporting cast member knows it is the hardest thing, especially with the virtual learning right now. So there are days where I really do miss sitting at a desk where it's quiet. And, I wouldn't trade my journey for anything, but there are days where I do miss that 3-hour-a-day commute into the city.
Yeah, because you get a little time. You do. And with being a stay-at-home mom, it's like sometimes there is no, I don't want to say you don't get a break, but so you're doing it. It's just
Girl,
like
ain't no break. Just say it.
Yeah, like you're doing it because you're waking up, you're making sure they're good. You're trying to teach them. You're homeschooling. You're cooking. You're making sure things around the house are good. You want to make sure the hubs is good. So it's just like always going, always going. So when you have a regular 9 to 5, you can come home and kind of be like, I can breathe and take a minute, second. But that's when you're doing the house stuff, that's always going. That's never stopping.
We got new titles this year. I'm the COO of this house. First, it was like, you're doing like a house manager, and like, no, it's a whole nother level. It's always emails and teachers, conversations, and appointments being made, and people need to be fed. And it's like we started seeing our home as a corporation, as a business, because we have goals and we want to elevate and we want to grow, and there is money involved in people and different things. So we took the approach of our home and our house is definitely a business. So what role do you play in the business? And I always tell my daughter when she want to get lazy with chores, I'm like, you going to let the team down? Like, you have certain things you need to do.
It's so funny you say that. Me, Sophia, and Isabella literally do this thing now where we put our hands, and Isabella knows how to do it. She's one, but she knows how to do it. And we say, 1, 2, 3, Team Mayfield.
Right.
We do it. And it's like, come on, everybody do it.
I got almost 11-year-old and she look at me sideways like, girl, bye. But she knows that you got to play your part on the team, and you got to ask for help and to make all these things happen so that you don't feel the pressure and the weight, and you can still live out your dream and whatnot. And it makes me wonder, before you took that leap, before you turned in that resignation letter, what kind of conversations would you suggest people have? What things would you say people need to have in order, or tips you can give someone that is on the verge to do exactly what you did?
You're on the verge, seek God. Seek God. God has not given us a spirit of fear. So if it's something he has told you to do, you need to do it. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Go. Okay? Increase your faith. Like I said, it's not for the faint of heart. Even if he's telling you to do it, increase your faith and just go. And all the things that you say, well, I lack, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have the money. Where you can't, he can. He steps in your lack, in your weakness, and he will provide. I'm a witness. I'm a living testimony. This is just not just, oh, pop, it happened for me. No, this was all God. And what he's done for me, you're just as special to him as I am to him. Okay. So he can do the same for you. So don't teeter totter on, well, you have to realize that he's already made room for your gift and what he's told you to do. You just need to walk in it and do what he said to do.
I'm writing down, he's already made room for my gifts.
He's made the room for it. He just needs you to walk in it. He has the resources. He's already laid everything out. You have to take that leap and just go. And I read this in one of the books that I'm reading that, God has all these blessings that he has for us. So let's just think of it like, you're on the sand and all the blessings that he has are on the water. And you're like, well, I can't go in the water. Like, it might be sharks. It might be this. I might drown. I might do this. But if you have faith and he's already told you, I got you, just like in the Bible, like when he led, I'm about to say Peter or Paul, I don't forgot, but when he allowed him to walk.
A lot of people in that book, Nicole.
No, I can't believe my dreams. But he allowed him to walk on water and, because he said, have faith. I'm here. Come to me. And that's what he wants you to do. Just have faith to know that he's there and that trust and believe he's going to hold you up, and we cannot reap the benefits and have the rewards without taking risk, and taking those risks and having God behind you. We good.
I love that. I think it's so important to, like you said, just step up your faith. If you are a person of faith, your resources, having those tough conversations, being authentic and vulnerable to the people in your circle who will be impacted.
Talk to them. Yeah.
On your numbers is so important to make sure you can afford to jump.
Yes.
Those things are so important as well. And then you leave the 9 to 5 and now it's time to work on the book. And there are a lot of people listening that may want to write a book and want to do something similar. What resources or people did you use specifically that helped you bring the book to light?
It's important to keep on the plan and write the vision and make it plain. That is so important because you want to keep on the path and, make sure you're not straying away from what God has told you to do. So get those people who can help you keep on task. You have the people that's already done it. And then those people who can get you to where you need to be. You have the vision. Now get to the people that can help you make that vision come to pass by getting you all the right resources, putting you in contact with the right people. The people that I use for that, you can talk to people and be like, well, you know what? I use this person for such and such. I use this person for this. Get in contact with those people so you can know that people who can help you, what path you need to take, what worked, what may not have worked.
No, that's so good. Again, it's just about being in alignment with the right people. Do some Googling, get on social media, put yourself out there. Hey, does anybody know a great illustrator? Does anyone know someone that can build a website? You will be surprised when you look at your network and start searching hashtags. And if you see something you like on someone else's social or you see that they're doing, literally ask them questions so you can actually get it done. And so I just think that is so important. And, we both are over 30, which some people could say is young, some people could say is old. But what advice would you give someone that feels that it may be too late to act on their dream because of their age or because now they do have a family or they have big responsibilities in their job? So someone says to you, Nicole, it's just too late for me to consider even trying to do X, Y, and Z. What are your thoughts on that?
Stop worrying about time because God can do what he wants when he wants. Once I said I wasted a year after God had told me what he wanted me to do, I was like, oh God, he's going to be like, nope, can't do it. No. And that's the thing. God gives his mercy and his grace every single day. He already knows where we're going to mess up, what's going to stop, where we're going to stop or what we might not do. But if you come to him again with a sincere heart and, really wanting to do this.
My thought on that too is as long as there is breath in your body, why not? It's never too late. You will hear stories about people being 60 and launching something, or 50 and doing whatever. And it is okay, because that is their time. And maybe they needed to go through certain experiences. And when I think about it, like you write children's Christian books. Well, you now write the books from the perspective of your child. And maybe a couple years ago, it was a different perspective. Now you're like in the trenches. So it makes sense, right now it makes sense. And for me, I think about with the coaching side, I coach people in and around the wedding space mostly. And I've went through the trenches of being a wedding planner for well over a decade. So when I do have clients in the space, I'm like, girl, been there, done that. And so I'm grateful for that journey. So now I can actually feel like I'm helping out, in a different way, from a clear perspective and experience, which is so important. And so you have a lot happening with Co-May Creates. What is your big dream for your collection of awesomeness that is launched at this point? Because by the time this episode releases in a couple months.
And I just want to say real quick, for the people worrying about, is it too late? Even if you did wait and didn't act on what God told you to do, God will still use what you went through in that time, the stuff that you learned through that time, to make what he wants you to do great. Nothing is lost. Nothing is wasted. Okay. So even after you finally say, okay, I'm gonna stop wasting time and I'm going to do what God says, he's going to still make it amazing, because that's just our God, and that's just who the God we serve.
But to piggyback off of that, again, the words that you're speaking of encouragement they all come from a place of, look, y'all, I waited.
Exactly.
And I did this, so now he's using you as a vessel. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is so important for people to understand, that it'll be a testimony that will bless somebody else down the road. And so one question, on this show, we do not believe in the word balance. You're very family oriented, you run an amazing business. Look at you. You wear hats. You're the best tambourine player that I know. So what is your definition of living well-rounded, Mrs. Mayfield?
My definition is being in God's will, being well-rounded, because he's going to make it all well-rounded. And I mean, it might sound churchy, it might sound cliche, but being in God's will, because you won't ever have a day that's going to be perfect. You won't ever have something that's going to go without mistakes or issues. But the thing that makes the difference is we have God's grace to sustain us. And he's going to make it all well-rounded. We're going to have days where we have an agenda that this is what we want to get done, and nothing on that agenda might get done. Dinner won't be fixed. The house is in shambles. But God gives us grace. And when we go to him, when we just say, God, help me. I need you right now. He'll make it all right. So my definition of being well-rounded is being in his will, staying in his will.
I love that. It just makes me think of our mantra of granting ourselves grace, the whole thing. Just, you have to give yourself grace on this journey and know what's important and stick with that, and everything else will fall into place.
And just keep him first, because I've had so many times where I'm like, I wake up and I know it's going to be a busy day. It's so many things, but I'm like, I got to get my time in with him, because it's when I don't, the day seems to just, woo. So make sure you keep that time with him, because even when you think it can't be done, he will make a way, and things just start falling into place, and you ain't even have to lift a finger.
And for myself, it's been this year making myself go downstairs and work out. Mm-hmm. And what I did is I put my devotional in the gym. So when I'm on the treadmill, I now read, and I'm not allowed to pick up my phone or do anything until I read a few words that sets the tone. So I'm positive and go from there. So I totally agree. For me, I have to do it on the front end, because I'm at the end.
You have to, because by the time I get in bed, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah. Bible sitting there, you're like, okay.
Right. And as soon as I try, I get so sleepy.
You're done.
Get thee behind me.
But, that lends to one of the tips that someone told me, that anything that is so important, you pack it in the front end. So you leave to accomplish. So if working out is important to you, reading your scripture, spending time with your loved one or your children or yourself, do it first thing, and then everything else will fall in line versus you feeling some type of way that you didn't get it accomplished. So that's something that I'm also trying to focus on in the new year. And so what are you most looking forward to in this next exciting season of your life, friend?
Oh my goodness, so many things. Like we said, we dropped the book. Yay, it's time for church. And it's a collection. It's a series of collection of it's going to be centered around my girls. The first one was about Sophia. The next coming ones will have Isabella in them. And it's just about our family. And I'm just excited to see. I'm already seeing everything God is doing with this first book. We're having, t-shirts come out, merchandise come out, different things that he is just bringing to me, saying, okay, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And I want to talk about it, but I don't want to give away too much.
We can do a follow-up.
Okay.
And all the details, guys, will be in the show notes. So whenever we do schedule this show, everything will be there because it's such the cutest book, and we've already ordered our copies. We got to support Sophia. Another side note, this is an arranged marriage between my son and her daughter. The day she was born, I'm like, all right, that's her nickname. I call her daughter-in-law.
Yep.
That's my little daughter-in-law. So we will definitely drop all the details in the show notes on our website so you can check out.
We have another book coming out soon.
You said a new book?
A new book. Yes, we are.
She on a roll.
Yeah.
Again, he's ordering your steps.
Yeah, he is. And with that book, it's other items along with that book. So it's just blowing my mind seeing what he's doing. And like when he drops it in my spirit, I'm like, oh God. Okay, let's do it.
Can we, is one of these things, and this is me guessing, is there going to be a tambourine attached? Maybe. I'm just saying, can we just get and then a video tutorial of actually how?
Hey, listen, your dreams might come true.
There it is. You need to learn about church. You might need to learn about all the supporting parts.
I miss it, and just being able to do this. I miss being in church. That's the one thing about being COVID. Not being able to gather around in church, play the tambourine, sing on the praise team, run around the church when I get happy. And I will run, okay? Sophia will then come home and make fun of me.
But you know what I love about it, Nicole? You unapologetically worship, praise, and you are who you are. And I just hope this encourages other people to not care about what other people think. You have us laughing, but we know it's authentic, and there'll be tears streaming down your face and a smile as well, but we know that it's authentic. And so, you definitely encourage me to not care what people think if you know you are where you're supposed to be and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
I could care less what anybody thinks.
Worry about what God's thinking, because that's what matters.
Amen. Man, I know Bishop Jones is real proud of you right now.
Oh, the bishop.
And so on a personal level, what are you saying no to in order to say yes to what matters most in this season? What things are you saying, nope, can't do that because we've got all these great things ahead?
Honestly, it would usually be like going out and doing stuff, but we can't really do that.
We ain't gone nowhere.
Yeah, we can't really do that right now. So
yeah, this question, I'm sorry, I had to cut you off. This question is a little like outdated in the sense of like, we really haven't done anything. We would have hung out by now.
My big thing is like, okay, and when I usually get a little bit of time, I'll watch something on TV, a movie or something, or one of them shows that I do not need to be watched. It doesn't add to me. It's just like a thing, I got some time. Let me sit here and do this. But honestly, because there's so much going on and because I know where God is trying to take me, what he's trying to do, I have to keep everything around me, everything I watch, everything I see, everything I listen to, something that's going to be positive, that's going to be uplifting, that's going to be aligned with what he's trying to do with me, because I got a lot going on. I got the household, and then what he wants me to do with this business. And I got to be in the right state of mind. I have to. My husband is so supportive, and he does so many awesome things. And I want to make sure, he holds us up. So yeah, I love that man. So I want to make sure I make time for him, make time for the girls. And then when it's time for me to do what I need to do, like I'm making my time for God and what he wants me to do with this business. So.
No, I love that. And yes, we love Ray. He definitely
is
a stand-up guy and is very much a great example of what it's like to have a partner that wants you to win.
Absolutely.
And he will make sure that he puts his girls, as he say, first and holds it down. So shout out to you, brother-in-law. Yes. All right, Nicole. So you have been a listener of the podcast since day one. And so you know what time it is. We're going to do rapid fire. We're going to have some. And I'm a little scared for you. So that was all nice. But I wanted rapid fire. So Nicole, you're stuck on an island. What are 3 things you are taking with you? You can't take Bae and you can't take the girls.
Well, if I'm on the island, there's going to be sun. So I'm going to need some type of lip chapstick, lip lubricant. Let's see what else. I mean, do I have food and stuff? Do I have drink?
You can take snacks.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. I'm making it up. So definitely some type of chapstick. Maybe I'll have a tambourine. Keep myself entertained. And let's see what else. What's the 3rd thing? What else? That's a good question.
I know what you're taking.
What?
Your Bible.
Oh, I was going to say that. I was going to throw around like people will be like, "Oh, she's so churchy."
Girl, we already passed that.
I need my word.
You already passed that. We already know you churchy.
I was legally going to say that. I was like, I need my Bible because that's what's going to keep my hope up. Like,
well, I'm not applying chapstick now after you said.
Oh, right. You said chapstick.
You didn't even say sunscreen. You said chapstick, but okay.
Well, listen, I told you I'd be sun gazing. I use that sun.
Yes. I just can't. Just can't. When you were little and someone would ask you, Nicole, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was your answer?
I was going to be a fashion designer.
Ooh, like Peyton.
Yeah, I was going to be. I had my name and everything. It was going to be my initials, which were at the time, my last name used to be Jones, so it was going to be NAJ, and I was going to be Najee.
Okay, Najee. Yeah.
I'm about to cut these pieces up. Let me draw these drawings, even though I couldn't draw. And I'm gonna put these pieces. Let me do some styles for you and put these pieces together.
That would be your nickname, Najee.
Najee, hello. Come on to Najee Boutique. Okay?
Yes. What is your favorite food?
I love a good pasta.
My sister.
Yeah, and then I get tacos.
And she does not eat any seafood, or like my husband, we would do like a date night situation, double date night. And my husband doesn't eat seafood. Nicole doesn't eat seafood. Ray and I will eat whatever. Yeah. I don't understand. And then she's vegan these days.
Well, I mean, I still be eating my roasted chicken and stuff.
All right. I'll give you that.
I mean, I can do it. I've done it before, just go completely vegan, but I definitely miss my roasted chicken.
Well, that makes me happy to know when we do go outside. Nicole does cooking tutorials with her little girl on Instagram. It's the cutest thing. And it's like, we're making vegan cupcakes. I'm like, guys.
I'm just showing people you can still make it. It doesn't have to have dairy in it.
No, it's good stuff, but it's work.
That's the thing. It's going to take a little bit of more work.
And more money. How about that?
Yeah, because you want the good stuff. You don't want the other stuff that got all the fillers and artificial stuff in it.
You're my go-to for all things like healthy. So what is your dream vacation destination?
Oh, somewhere hot and sunny and with, I don't necessarily have to have, I love to be able to look at a beach and see the water. I don't necessarily need to go in, but I love somewhere. I mean, the Hubs and I was supposed to go to, where was the place? I want to say Dubai, but it's not Dubai.
Yeah, it was so long ago.
Oh, sorry, Bora Bora. I mean, right. It's 7 years ago. That's where we were supposed to go on our honeymoon, and it got canceled due to reasons out of our control. But that is somewhere I still definitely want to go and stay in my little hut on the water.
It sounds so good right now.
Yes, it does.
What is a misconception that people have about you?
That I'm never serious. I joke all the time. Even I do. I like to have a good time because I'm just like, why be sad and all mopey when you can be happy and laugh? And I know it's easier said than done, but I do. I like to have a good time, and sometimes I have to laugh to keep from crying, especially if I've had a hard day. I gotta see. My husband always saying, "You laugh at everything." It's funny. and people and because people who know me and know how much I like to joke around is like, do you ever take anything serious?
But that's what we love about you, because it evens us out when a lot of us are harder around the edges and we do take things so seriously. You definitely soften things up and you lighten the room, which is a blessing in itself.
You gotta laugh, you gotta smile.
If you could meet anyone in the world, who would it be?
Oh. there's not really anyone who I like have to crave to meet, honestly.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to just give an answer just to give it. But there's no one that I'm just like, man, I gotta meet that person. Like, there's not a celebrity.
That's actually a cool thing.
Everybody's cool. Celebrity's cool.
I swear you would feel, because he is not starstruck by anything.
Yeah.
Like, we're good.
They're good. And I mean, I got the people around me that I got my family and my friends, and I'm around them. I get to meet them. So it's cool. I'm good.
I love that. What skill would you learn if you could learn any skill in the world?
I want to learn how to comb roll hair.
Me too.
I can braid. I cannot comb roll.
Me neither, Najee.
Right. It drives me crazy. Oh, I want to be. I see those.
Oh, we should take a class.
We should.
I tell people all the time, I was never the girl on the stoops with somebody in between. Like, that wasn't okay. I got our next thing.
That's what. Learn how to comb roll hair, and it's. Some people see it. It's so simple because my mom has tried to show me. She knows how to do it, and she has shown me many times. And I'm like, I just carry the one at the loop. I don't know.
I can't do it. My cousin who does my daughter's hair, my daughter stayed with her hair braided because she's a swimmer. She's tried to teach me for probably legit 20 years at this point.
I know.
I just can't do it. So if anybody has any great cornrow tutorials that are no fail ways, holler at us.
I'll teach you how to play the tambourine. Come on, we can
swap.
Yeah.
So if someone were to play you in a movie,
who
would you want that person to be in the Nicole Mayfield story, the Lifetime original? No, maybe Hallmark. You're too happy. Hallmark.
Oh,
not Lifetime. That's a little like snapped and scary. Hallmark for you.
You know who I like? I like Journey. Is that Journey's? Lord, I'm about to say.
Yeah, the one whose brother got in all that trouble.
Yeah. I like her, and I like Megan Good.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like both of them, but I like Journey. I've always liked her.
Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
Gracious. My 18-year-old self. Okay. Pay attention. And even though I like to laugh and have fun, I would have told myself to live a little bit more. I think I was because I thought I was going to be like married by I was 25 and have kids and do this and do that. And I had to have it by a certain track, as well as being a PK, all eyes are looking at you and whatever thing you're doing, but you don't have to worry about them. Do what you do, be you, and just live a little bit. You have a while to figure out, you have a little bit of time to figure out what you're going to be doing. God has it already. He's making that room for you. He's preparing it for you. Stay in with him. And don't worry about what others.
I love that advice. Yeah.
Things of you. Because listen, being a PK, people, they can be ruthless.
Yeah, it's the expectation that pastors' kids are supposed to be angels, and people forget that they're human first. So like, it's definitely understood why one would feel like all eyes on me type of thing.
And one thing, you don't always have to feel validated. That was a big thing for me. Having to have validation. And I don't know why, but now I've gotten to the point where I don't other people's approval so much. It's more seeking God making sure I'm good with him. So yeah, don't always go looking for that validation.
That comes with maturity and experience. And again, being surrounded by the right people who have your back. And when you stop caring what other people think about you, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you see, I got the fro now. I don't have the straight hair. Like,
yeah. You sure are rocking your, what is it?
And for a while, I was like, people, if I start doing stuff like this, people are going to think, what is she doing? Like
a midlife crisis.
Yeah, and I didn't cut my hair off. I didn't shave the side, and I was like, let's do a fro. Hello,
but you're still cute though, so it works. It's always cute. Yes, you're rocking your fro, but again, some people can't do that. So be who you are authentically.
Yes.
What is your guilty pleasure?
What is my guilty pleasure? I'm probably gonna say I love to. I'm gonna say dessert.
We always order in dessert.
Yeah. I'm gonna say dessert. I love chocolate.
What's your favorite type of chocolate? Give me a Hershey's. I'm good.
No, I can't. I used to love Snickers. I can't eat those anymore. I cannot eat them anymore. Isn't that crazy? I used to eat Snickers all the time, just savor it and just be morsel to me. Like, ooh. But cake, chocolate cake and cookies, just be snacking and eating on them.
No, that's right.
Guilty pleasure, yeah.
What is something on your bucket list?
I want to go to Africa.
Oh,
I do.
Well, you better go now while you got your natural fro.
I know, right?
So good, girl. Fit right in.
I want to take my kids too. I want it to be a family trip. I want, Ray to go and my kids to go too. I just want to experience and see that beauty. It gets, there's so many misconceptions out there about how it is and what it looks like. And, from people I've talked to and who I've heard from, it's nowhere near that. And I just want to see it for myself.
I'm with you there. Yeah. My mom spoke very highly about her experiences traveling to Africa. All good things. All positive things. All right, friend, this was fun. I feel very inspired and I got my laugh on. And, I cannot express how excited I am for you. This is your season. It is much deserved, long awaited. So I know you're going to shine. And so I want you to let the listeners know where they can find you online.
You can find me at Co-May Creates on Instagram, Co-May Creates on Facebook, and you can go to my website, www.comaycreates.com.
Oh, my God.
See about me.
Come see about Oh, my gosh. The books will be released there. She mentioned merch. I've seen the merch. It's so cute. So definitely.
We're going to have different styles coming out. So, yes. So the merch coming out, the books, and I'll let you know when the release dates for the books, all that good stuff. You can still, it's pre-order right now, but you can still go on the website and order.
Also, let me cut you off right there. Her newsletter, she does updates on the newsletter. So the merch and all the things, you can definitely subscribe. I'm on the list. So I like the alerts and updates you give us there. So thank you, Nicole, for hanging out with the Well-Rounders and I today. And guys, again, check out the show notes so that you can make sure you catch all the links to everything that we discussed. And again, like I said, Nicole, this is great and you're doing great work. And if any of you guys out there enjoyed today's show, which I know you did because Nicole's amazing, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review over on Apple Podcasts. Let us know that you listen. Take a screenshot, tag at Co-May Creates, and I'm at Coach for Creatives on Instagram. And that's it, guys. Until next time, remember to grant yourself some grace, walk in your passion, live out your purpose, and to stay safe. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Friends, thanks for kicking it with us this week. Remember to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode airs. I'd love it if you leave us a review and share this goodness with your squad. Until next time, seek a well-rounded life and remember to focus on what matters most.